Your forecast first from KARK4, your weather authority.
It may be a little cool outside, but the sun is shining. It is KARK4 night here at Dickey Stevens Park. The Travs taking on the Springfield Cardinals. Stands are empty right now, but gates open at 6:10. We got a doubleheader tonight, and a few lucky folks may win some prizes from Total Rants Live, as well as some T-shirts will be given away to the first few folks in the gates. Remember, those gates open at 5:10. Your forecast first for Little Rock for tonight. We are expecting skies to be clear. It's going to be a frosty one. A frost advisory in effect for most of Arkansas. We'll tell you who will see some frosty conditions. By morning, we'll be down to 37 degrees. KARK4 News at 5 starts right now.
Now, from the station you count on for local news that matters. This is KARK4 News at 5.
There has been no apprehension at this point.
The city of Boston, a metro population of between 4 to 5 million people, shut down. Authorities asking everyone to stay inside while they search for a man on the run, the second suspect in the marathon bombing. Good evening and thank you for joining us tonight, everybody. I'm Bob Clausen.
Hi, everyone. I'm Jessica Dean. There was one suspect shot and killed overnight after a shootout in the Boston suburb of Watertown. Now an intense manhunt is underway there. Agents, tactical officers have their weapons drawn. They're on the ground, Black Hawk helicopters in the air. They're all searching for 19-year-old Jasar Zarniev.
All of Boston. All of Boston. This is a serious situation. We're taking it seriously. We're asking people to shelter in place. In other words, to stay indoors with their doors locked.
And if you've seen the images on the television and online, people are largely doing that. There are still some questions about whether others may have been involved in planning or carrying out an attack Monday in Boston, and if they're getting any help now, that second suspect. Agents say they're certain the man they've called a ruthless killer is heavily armed and still on the loose.
One tweet from an Arkansas legislator on the situation in Boston sets off a wave of controversy. Here it is from Nate Bell of Mena. It reads, "I wonder how many Boston liberals spent the night cowering in their homes wishing they had an AR-15 with a high-capacity magazine." After he tweeted it, Nate Bell talked to KARK4's David Goins trying to clarify those comments. David?
Well, Bob, legislators are done at the state capitol for the week, but not before that 138-character tweet by Representative Nate Bell that, for the most part, brought national repudiation and even admonishment from his own political party.
One suspected bomber dead, and at the height of the manhunt for the other this morning, Representative Nate Bell fired off, "I wonder how many Boston liberals spent the night cowering in their homes, wishing they had an AR-15 with a high-capacity magazine."
And at the time, I didn't realize that it was something that was going to have that emotional effect on people that it did.
The reaction on social media, instantaneous and far-reaching, varying from resign, stay classy, and well played, to hundreds more we can't show you on TV. And while Bell sat on the House floor this morning, his Twitter handle trending across the country, no bigger response than that in Boston. He told me later his tweet lacked the proper context.
I was expressing what I personally would have felt had I and my family been in our home in a city where public officials had deprived us of the right to defend ourselves.
House Speaker Davy Carter saying, "I want to extend my deepest apologies to the people of the city of Boston and the Commonwealth of Massachusetts for the inappropriate and insensitive comment made this morning by an Arkansas House member."
Are you apologizing for the tweet?
The timing.
But not the sentiment.
Again, I was expressing my personal view of how I would have felt had I been in that situation. I'm very sad that it hurt people's feelings, that it hurt already raw emotions, and that it, added further to their pain. Certainly that was not my intent at all.
House Majority Leader Bruce Westerman, a fellow Republican, told KARK this afternoon there is a time to debate the Second Amendment right guaranteed to all citizens. Now is not that time. Bob and Jessica, back to you.
All right, David, thank you very much. Now, this tweet got a lot of feedback from our viewers, as you can imagine, on our Facebook, both positive as well as negative. Take a look at some of them. Linda and Freddie say, "From Bostonian, no need to apologize. Truth needs to be spoken. Maybe if more of our politicians spoke the truth, we would not have the mess that we are in now." And June says this: my family and I are totally against gun control, but he should apologize for his timing.
Rebecca Wright chiming in, it was rude and insensitive, apology required. As a public representative, he should be polite, and that remark was only meant to jab at the people of Boston to make a political point. Politeness, it's a good quality. Ever hear of too soon? And Pamela Jones-Rodney adding, no need to say sorry for the truth. There's a time to be sensitive and a time to be honest. This time calls for honesty. Being sensitive never solved anything. I'm glad he's representing Arkansas. So a lot of talk out there. He's certainly right in the middle of all of it. And if you've got an opinion, we do want to hear it. Visit our Facebook page for more. The Arkansas House approving over $120 million in tax cuts, all of it made possible by the deal struck on health care expansion for uninsured Arkansans earlier this week. But those tax cuts are not going to take effect right away, only $10 million next year. Then it ratchets up to well over $100 million by 2016.
We need to think about the decision that we're about to make. And if you want to get on the ship and sail it through the rough storms, they're going to be easy in the next year. But come 16 and 17, you better have your life jacket on, because the potential for the perfect storm is there.
The state will begin to have to pick up some of the tab for the health care expansion in 2017, which could create some budget problems.
Taking a look at unemployment numbers, the latest unemployment numbers in Arkansas showing no change from the last report. The March jobless rate stands at 7.2%, the same as February. The data released today shows the labor force declined by 7,600. The U.S. jobless rate declined 0.1 percentage point, standing at 7.6% for March.
Parts of Scott Hamilton Overpass in Little Rock shut down today after reports of debris falling there. Engineers from the Highway Department responded to that scene to check out just what was going on. They found parts of the southbound lane falling into the eastbound lanes. The middle and outside eastbound lanes were then closed. Little Rock police investigating shots fired at a school bus stop this afternoon. Police responded to 15th and Abigail, where they found a 9mm shell casing in the street there. Investigators searched the area and they found a 15-year-old suspect before finding the black semi-automatic handgun at the home of another juvenile who was not charged or involved in that incident. That 15-year-old, though, is facing several charges tonight.
The father of a murder victim fighting to keep his son's convicted killer in prison, even though the state parole board voted to have his life sentence commuted. In 1994, a jury found this man, Alvin Williams, guilty in the murder of Ronald Henry Jr. KARK4's Dustin Barnes talked to the victim's family, who say they can forgive, but not forget.
Me and him fished together and all of that. I stopped fishing.
Ronald Henry Sr. lost more than his fishing buddy in 1994. He lost his son, his namesake, on West 13th Street in Little Rock. Alvin Williams is serving a life sentence for the murder, where witnesses say he ran over Ronald Henry Jr. and shot him as he begged for his life.
My son told him, don't kill him. Please don't kill me. And he ran him down and shot him down like an animal.
After 19 years, Henry has forgiven Williams, but he's not forgotten what he did. That's why he's against the parole board's recommendation to commute Williams' life sentence that may allow him to walk out of prison one day.
He was a murderer then. He'll be a murderer if he gets back on the streets.
Parole board chairman John Feltz says they get several requests from life sentence inmates seeking commutation, but he believes Williams shows remorse by starting a mentoring program where he encourages gang members to drop their affiliation.
We look at people that have tried to show us that they have made changes in their life.
But Deron Henry, who lost his father at age 2, can only see what he didn't have growing up.
If you're man enough to take somebody's life, you should be man enough to do that time.
Time that can't be rewound.
I'll never get Ronald Jr. back. He's gone and gone forever.
In North Little Rock, Dustin Barnes, KARK4 News.
Governor Mike Beebe would decide if Williams' sentence is to be commuted. The parole board first recommended commutation for Williams in 2009. Governor Beebe rejected it then. Over 100 students accomplishing something very big today. Little Rock Job Corps Center celebrating its first graduation of the new year. The ceremony was held today with around 140 students taking part in commencement. Job Corps provides training opportunities to hundreds of youth every year. Little Rock campus offering 8 career training programs alone.
In Health Matters tonight, doctors and pharmacists in Arkansas trying to make it harder to doctor shop. That's what they call going from doctor to doctor into multiple ERs, claiming to have pain or to be in pain and only trying to get pills. Right now, pharmacists in the state are uploading information onto a database. And for the first time, the Arkansas Department of Health will have a way to track doctor shopping.
Kids especially pilfer in the drug cabinets at home, and they know what drugs are worth something on the street and are worth trying out. And unfortunately, sometimes they don't know very much about how much you can take.
It will likely be early summer before that information will be ready for tracking.
Still ahead, hundreds of kids, if not thousands of them in town, showing up their hard work and taking it for a spin. We're going to take you to this auto rally of sorts when we come back.
And another group of kids showing off their moves. See why Taekwondo is taking over downtown Little Rock this weekend. That's coming up.
All right, I made it to first. I'm hoping this guy will bring me in, but in case he doesn't, I'm going to catch a ride on that tractor over there. Hey, the crews are getting the field ready for tonight. First pitch is at 6:10. It's KARK 4 night here at Dickey Stevens. The Travs taking on the Cardinals, and a beautiful evening for baseball after a rather cool day. In Little Rock today, our high, 59. We started at 40. We've got frost on the way for some places tonight. The details are straight ahead.
This is KARK 4 News at 5 and high definition with Bob Clausen, Jessica Dean, and Chief Meteorologist Keith Monahan.